Don't go on your next hunt without knowing why you might miss. Get your free copy of Shot Placement 101 today. Details at closingthedistance.com.
Welcome to this week's Closing the Distance. On today's show, it's just a lot of different random hunts. We're going to shoot some bucks, some does, some hogs, and maybe a couple javelinas. I'm glad you're with us. Let's get started.
Closing the Distance is brought to you by Ozonics. Undetectable, undeniable. Hunter Safety System, dedicated to saving hunters' lives. Executioner Broadheads, born to kill. Treason, don't just blend, become. And by Citadel, revolutionary shoot-down shape. Coming up, Amy Reeves takes care of a huge Kansas buck. Later on, more whitetail bow hunts to share. We'll be right back. Closing the Distance is made possible by Matthews Solo Cam. Catch us if you can. Tree limb quivers. There's only one tree limb quiver. Sword sights. Sharp solutions in aiming. Elusive Wildlife Technologies, taking the elusive out of wildlife. The Stage Deer Attractant, finally, a synthetic scent that works. And by the amazing Luminot. Can your arrow not do this?
Today's show, we're just out hunting. We have a lot of really good hunts to show you, some really cool footage. Let's start out with pro staffer Amy Reeves.
Deer. Golly. Whew. What an awesome deer. I've been watching this deer most of the morning, and we had some trail camera pictures of him, and we were hoping that he would come in to feed, and when I first spotted him, he was about 400 yards away on a hill, locked up on a doe, and he stayed right with her. He laid down and he rested, and he laid down, and finally I lost him, and I just was hoping that he would come in. And then about 30-40 minutes later I saw him again, and he was with the doe and just following her around, and I thought, man, unless she comes to eat, there's no way I'm gonna get a shot at him. But luckily there was a 9-point feeding. And I actually passed up that deer yesterday. He's a nice deer, pretty deer, but I knew there was something a little bigger, and I was holding out for that. And I honestly think he saw that deer feeding, and he came barreling in there and ran that deer off and took over the place. He wasn't there long, just long enough for me to get a shot. Man, look at all these little points coming off the brow tines. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. About 6 points coming off the brow tines. His tips are clubbed on this side, and he's got a kicker. We call this deer the kicker buck. We've been looking for him because he has 2 small kickers coming off his G2s.
Look at the size of that hog! Oh my goodness! I cannot believe it. Wow.
Can you prop him up at all, or is he just too big?
I don't know if I can even lift him, but let me try. Oh!
Let me get in there and help you.
He's huge!
Whoa.
Wow! Oh my goodness.
This hog is a
Wow.
monster.
That's
How
just
big he is.
crazy.
Look how thick
I
his
cannot
shoulders
believe.
are.
I can't believe this is in our backyard.
Were you aiming for the heart like that? Because On these big hogs like this, you either got to hit them right dead square in the heart or right up here in the lungs. You're not gonna get through that plate right there.
Wow, look how big.
He's a monster.
Crazy.
Huge, big old cutters.
Wow.
I've seen this hog 4 or 5 times, stalked him a couple times, never could do anything with him. Just look at those cutters.
Wow, nice.
He's gorgeous. We gotta get some good pictures.
Yeah, that was fun.
That's awesome. You did good.
Yeah.
Well, folks, I'm gonna tell you something. He's a 10, but you know, I said something the other day. I've been here hunting in South Texas with Matt. We've been hunting 4 days. And I'm gonna tell you, you know, you watch TV just like I do sometimes, and you think, man, it's a slam dunk. These guys just go out and they sit one time and it gets done. But the truth of the matter is, we've hunted 4 days hard. And I mean, we have hardly seen anything, and that is the truth. And this is good ground. It's just, it's hunting. It is what it is. This is the last morning. I gotta be on a plane at 2 o'clock and head home. And this was our last sit, and they're gonna do a survey today, and so we didn't have but about maybe 45 minutes or an hour at the most to sit, and thank the Lord, it all came together and worked out for us this morning. I drew on him, and craziest thing, I kind of bumped my wrist, and my QAD flipped down, and he boogered just a little bit, kind of boogered me just a little bit, but I tugged it just a little high. But good part is no tracking job. But he's a great deer for me. Actually, you know, maybe my best bow buck. I don't know. We'll have to score him up. But I am tickled to death to have him, and thankful to Mr. Sutton for allowing me to come out here and hunt, and thankful for Matt sitting with me for a few days. But this is a blessing, man. He's a great buck, and I'm just grateful, grateful, grateful. Grateful, grateful. Good deer.
After a short break, more bow hunts from the team. We'll be right back. Get a head start on your next trophy buck. Order stand placement advanced techniques today at Closing the Distance. Closing the Distance is brought to you by Ozonics, undetectable, undeniable. Hunter Safety System, dedicated to saving hunters' lives. Executioner Broadheads, born to kill. Treason, don't just blend, become. And by Citadel, revolutionary shoot-down shape.
Crazy javelinas. They're fun to shoot, but they always measure deer hunting up. There were several does were down there feeding up this way, but they would have came in with that javelina there. But pretty cool.
We got us she was a big doe. She came in with some yearlings, and we kept trying to get a shot on her. She finally come around, give us a little quarter-way shot. Made a real good shot with her. She probably went about 75 yards. Easy blood trail to follow her. I mean, just blood everywhere, just easy to track. Old helium, Matthew Helium, did his job. Luminoc's lit up well. You can see her running off with the Luminoc lit up. But great hunt up here in Kansas. Very cold. I'm definitely gonna try to get my deer next year before December.
Boy, broke that sucker. Oh, look. You see the blood on there? Let me hold it still. Hey, that's a great sign. Didn't get a ton of penetration, but it probably lodged in the offset shoulder. And so many times, or the leg. Look right here. Look right here on the bush. I told you he crashed in that bush, remember? And he slammed in that hard. And it looks like he went this way. Yeah, it looks like going through here. See that? There he is.
Where is he?
He's right here. Well, he cut to the left, didn't he? that was crazy. I mean, right there he was going down that trail the whole time. And I guess he you know, they do a lot of times, they start getting dizzy and kind of wobbly, and he cut left right here. We found him. Oh yeah, hey, look at this buck. I tell you what, if you look up in the dictionary, management buck, this is what you'll see. This is the perfect deer to take. Hey, you know what, in my book, in most people's books, this is a great buck, and I'm happy to take him. I mean, we're on a well-managed property here in Texas, and the landowners, whenever we see a management buck, a deer that's mature, that fits that management criteria, they want one of us to try to take that buck out and put a tag on him. And you know what? I'm proud to do that this morning. We had a great hunt. I mean, it's the middle of the rut right now. As you saw, the bucks were pushing does everywhere. This deer right here was right in the middle of it. Look at the head and neck on this big boy. Big bodied deer. But you know what? This rack, this 8 point, 8 points is all he's gonna have. I think he's 5.5, could be 4.5. But you know what? This is just the perfect deer to take. And you saw what he was doing out there. I mean, he was really pushing a lot of deer around, but I sure am glad to put a tag on this one.
Yeah, it was one heck of an exciting hunt. That, man, I put a great shot on that hog. It's a lot bigger than I thought. Very deceiving from the stand. Capsule did its job. Man, I tell you what, that's a good reward. It's been a long time since I've been in the stand, and to have success that quick, man, that was awesome. I'm excited to get this dude back and get him cleaned up.
Oh, smoked your butt. Take that.
When we return, spot and stalk hog hunting, plus more whitetail bow hunts. Closing the Distance will be right back. Want more from Closing the Distance? Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram. Closing the Distance is made possible by Matthews Solo Cam. Catch us if you can. Tree limb quivers. There's only one tree limb quiver. Sword sights. Sharp solutions in aiming. Elusive Wildlife Technologies. Taking the elusive out of wildlife. The Stage Deer Attractant. Finally, a synthetic scent that works. And by the amazing Luminaut. Can your aeronaut do this?
Great blood on impact. Saw her fall. She goes about 40 yards and crashes, but just awesome afternoon hunt right here behind my house. Just look at this blood trail. It is great. There she is. Perfect heart shot. Great doe to eat. Love bow hunting. Yes.
Still, it's late in the season. Trying to shoot some management bucks. This doe came in about 9 o'clock. I was fixing to get down. Hadn't seen a deer since 8. And they still need to kill 10 or 12 more does. Still with their management plan, so that's a good opportunity to get some fresh backstrap.
Oh, man, I did. That is a high shot. Whew, thank you, Matthews. Thank you, Lord, for helping us retrieve this bad boy. Man, he's just a slick 10, short time. Long main beams, though. He's an old deer, isn't he, Matt?
Oh, yeah. He's really old.
He's gray.
Way past prime.
That old deer, I bet he went, what, 350, 400 yards?
Yeah. Probably one lung, do you think?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely a high lung shot. Man. South Texas deer, the second one. Not this year, a couple years ago I was back down here. Thanks to Mr. Sutton, he's got a beautiful ranch down here, man. This is day 4 and we've been trying everything in the world. We couldn't get in bow range of a mature deer. We've seen some big deer out in the fields doing some decoying, a lot of stuff, and bucks are checking does, a lot of activity. We just couldn't seem to get it done. Sure glad to see this old boy come in this morning.
What I love so much about today's show is that we're learning that while it's fun to hunt big bucks with a bow and a stick and a string, there's a lot of other things that we can still hunt and enjoy in the outdoors with our bow. Because the bottom line is, bow hunting is just an absolute blast. But you know, as a pastor, I run into people all the time that think that being a Christian or following Christ or coming to know God is going to be some dull, boring, pathetic experience, that their best days were before Jesus Christ and not going to be after, and nothing could be further from the truth. I've not always been a pastor, but I've been walking with the Lord personally now for 23 years, and I will pledge this to you. It has been the greatest live life to the fullest adventure that I have ever experienced in my life. Jesus said it like this in John 10. He said, "I have come that you might have true life, and that you might have a life that you never even dreamed of." That was the words of Jesus. And I want to encourage you, man, if you've ever thought that, following God or being a Christian was just some dull, boring experience, I want to encourage you, you've not really experienced what it's really like. Give God a try. You'll be glad that you did. If you'd like to know more about a personal relationship with God through His Son, Jesus Christ, just go to closingthedistance.com and click on the Moment of Truth tab.